Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to A Summer with the Shiba Inu. We are on Arena 12, Day 3. We have met a scary, grey Shiba Inu who is outsmarted us and is a scary individual. We want to keep away from them. The next couple of days, I'll just snoop around, getting a catalogue of the other dogs. I'll take the freight elevator several times without incident and leave some items around the access points to my floors so I can observe if anyone's trespassed. For example, I dragged up a fluffy rug and set it in front of the elevator doors so I would notice if there are any paw indents in it. In front of the fire escape doors, 4 in total, I spread a thin layer of powder. This I procured by sneaking to the office floors and grabbing some food replacement powder from the kitchen. I also rearranged some simple traps and funnels in the storefronts like the dog above me had. However, since most of my props are clothes racks, instead of something sturdy and heavy like office desks, there are obvious vulnerabilities in my funnels. Despite my preparations, my floor remains relatively quiet. I wonder if it's because I'm on the lowest of the floors. To get here, dogs would have to get past that absolutely brutal trapper above me. If anyone is the best positioned to eliminate me, it's going to be her. Thankfully, she seems to prefer to lure in the dogs, which reminds me. Some time ago. Flashback, flashback. I step out of the freight elevator to a floor that's above the trapper's levels. Trapper is a code name that I've taken to call in the dog above me. Okay, the coast is clear. I scan all around me, including the ceiling, before venturing out. Suddenly, I hear yapping coming from a distance, and I cautiously moved along the wall toward the sound. As I near the circular corridor overlooking the escalators, I can tell that the sound is coming from a floor or two below me. I creep up to the railing and peer down. Oh, fish sticks. The trapper has the dog tied up very, very well. Its feet are bound together, and its torso is tied to the railings on that floor. She circles the prey, and I hear the smug, playful tone that she used with me the other day. She moves closer to the trapped dog and lowers her voice. I can't make out what she's saying, but the conversation seems quite one-sided. After some moments, she starts prodding around the victim's torso and seems to find what she's looking for. The tied-up dog seems completely out of it. However, instead of smashing its pendant immediately, the trapper chats away for just a bit longer. Not eliciting any response from the victim, the trapper shrugs and finally takes a swipe at the dog. Gone. That's one down. The trapper watches the dog dissolve before sauntering away. She's scary. Anyway, today I'm going to try and scout out the higher up floor. My freight elevator doesn't go past the 40th floor, so I can either take the customer elevators from the 10th floor or the separate freight elevators from the 20th. Compared to typical arenas set in the open, this level design complicates travelling, since there are bottlenecks at each floor's access points. Okay, perfect for dogs that operate like the trapper. Anyway, I want to get a better idea of the state of the competition. So far, I've seen a larger black Shiba in the luxury restaurant floors. The dog eliminated by the trapper had occupied the floors above the trapper, for my guess. Ooh, this looks nice. I arrive at the next series of floors, the amenities, basically luxury hotel rooms. There are some tripwires near the elevator, but luckily I spot them in time and avoid them. These wires are pretty thick, no wonder I didn't fall for them. Before I go any deeper inside, I need to plan an escape route. Circling the perimeter, I find a fire escape stairwell and triple check that it opens and closes properly. I can't take any chances after that narrow escape from the trapper. I memorise the route and head back to the elevator area. Okay, I hope it works out. I'll pretend to be caught, and then lure out the dog on this floor. I purposely pull on one of the tripwires. But instead of a trap, there's a strong jolt of electricity. What the hell? I let out an involuntary yap. While not a lethal shock, it's quite enough to numb me. Wow, now I see why the wires are so thick. I limp away and hunker behind a potted plant to recover. Surprisingly, no dog comes, so once the feeling returns to my limbs, I emerge from cover. I pick a branch off the potted plant and use it to prod some of the remaining lines. Okay, I was hoping to get its attention, whoever it is. It might be busy, or perhaps it didn't bother to set up wires to notify when tripped? I wanted to explore inside the hotel rooms, but if there's more of these traps, it's kind of dangerous. The scene of being at the trapper's mercy keeps replaying in my mind, sapping all of my courage to go further. I went from being so confident to being such a wimp. Just then, someone steps out of the elevator. Oh shit. I follow my instincts and run. Down the corridor and then to the left, fire escape time. Just before I can round the corner, it calls after me. I can't catch you there, so listen for a sec. It's that voice. It's her. I glance back. She's still standing in front of the elevator, so it doesn't sound like a trap. I pause, but only to turn partially toward her, my body language making it clear that I intend to bolt if she makes any sudden movement. You see, I've got a proposition. I'm interested in making these floors part of my trapper floors. She even uses that term herself. She's the trapper. Okay, so what's in it for me? My voice is barely a squeak. No, Sid, get it together. Don't show any weakness. See, I'm interested in partnering up with someone. Though maybe partnering's the wrong word. I need a helper that I can be comfortable around. Of course, in return, you'll be getting a much higher ranking than you really deserve. Right. Under normal circumstances, I would have challenged her on her assumptions. I should tell her I can get whatever ranking I want, thank you very much, without her. She wants someone she can be comfortable around? Wow, she means someone she can eliminate at any time. Never in my life has anyone talked down to me like that. But I can't even justify getting offended. Even someone as prideful as I am cannot deny the truth of what she's implying. She even had the decency to say in an indirect way that she could really eliminate me at any time. I have to argue so I can survive for a bit longer. Okay. How about the middle one? I'll do it, but you're going to regret this. I can't take her arrogance lying down. Even if provoking her might cause her to hold a grudge, which puts me in an even more dangerous situation. Yeah, I'm going to say it, I'm going to do it, but you're going to regret this. She nods in response. Now, it's going to be hard to work together if you're standing that far away, but I understand why you're keeping your distance. So, see here. She reaches into her shirt, pulls out her pendant. What? Slowly and deliberately, she puts it back into her shirt, but makes the exact location of it clear. Don't worry, I don't need to see yours, not right now anyway. So, you want to come here and discuss a way to make these floors ours? Shakily, I nod. We head down the fire escape to the trapper's base, the office floors. Her name is actually Shuela, but I still think of her as the trapper though. I'm glum, having just agreed to a deal that completely undermines my own ability and independence. I wonder if this is what AU felt, being in a partnership where the other dog has the upper paw. The trapper lays out her plan. I'll pitch some suggestions, some of which she agrees with and includes in the final strategy. She also tells me to get a grip, because if I perform poorly, she'll eliminate me on the spot. I don't doubt that she'll make good on that threat. Some time later. Okay, we've got an uneasy alliance. We split up to our respective floors to gather supplies for the offensive plan. We need rope, wire and hooks. I also rip up some clothes into wide strips, which I wrap around my legs. With all that set, we head up, me by elevator and the trapper by fire escape. Once I hide, you trip the wires, got it? I nod and wait until she vanishes into one of the hotel rooms. Here goes. I prod the tripwires, though this time my legs are wrapped in layers of cloth to insulate against the electric shock. Time to put my act into the test. I quickly unwrap the cloths and hide them in the potted plant nearby, then continuing to yap, I fall to the ground, pretending to be in pain. Yeah, she fell for it. Ooh, brought out a sucker. That was fast. I wonder why she didn't appear last time. Now that I think about it, the trapper wasn't worried at all about asking me to collaborate on enemy territory. Maybe the trapper knew that she wasn't here. The dog approaches slowly at first, but then convinced that I am hurt, pounces. I leap up to the side, she misses, and I dash down the corridor. Down the corridor and to the left. I fling myself into the room where the trapper's hiding, conveniently forgetting to close the door. Knowing where the trap triggers are, I jump over them, and the dog rushing in after me isn't as fortunate. Wow, upside down. At a touch of the trigger, she's strung up. Trying to escape, the dog starts swinging back and forth desperately. The trapper and I didn't really plan beyond capturing the dog, but I guess I'll eliminate her while she's tied up tight. But as I go up to pet her, suddenly the wires hum, and my fur rises on end. Wait, what now? Is this the same type of wire as the traps in the elevator area? I freeze, my paw mere millimeters away from the wire. The trapper set this up not only to tie up the dog, but also to electrocute it. Once, twice. Just when I think it's over, the wires buzz again and again. The dog howls until it cannot, and it falls limp. I can't look away. This torture is so unnecessary. I can only describe it as gruesome. The one brief shock to my paw at the first time had been numb, so I can't imagine what it feels like to be shocked for this long. The dog's still conscious, but her wide, lolling eyes make it clear that she's in pain. I've never seen a dog as sadistic as the trapper in the arenas. I guess the one thing is that we can't technically die. Well, bar that unfortunate incident back in my old arena. We can't afford the time to torture fellow dogs. Usually we just get the elimination over with. I jump as the trapper emerges from inside a closet. So, she was here the whole time. Why didn't she show herself until now? Hey there! The dog squirms, but doesn't seem to be able to answer. Not a very talkative one, are we? Is this how she treats all of the dogs that she traps? Talks to them until they'd rather be eliminated than listen to her any longer? She's just been electrocuted. Of course she's not talkative. Fish sticks. I shouldn't have said that out loud. You're right. Silly me. I'm just trying to ease the tension. Her tone. She's totally getting kicks out of this. This is twisted. I can't stand this shit. Why are you being so sadistic? Just eliminate her. Get it over with. Oh, Sid, you're such a noble dog, aren't you? Sadistic, you call me. What about yourself? What do you mean? You know what I mean. You're here in the bracket. You've done your fair share. She smirks lazily, her lips curling to show her canines. I've never been like this. I saw you eliminate another dog the other day. You were taking your time, even though it was already tied up, just like this. Oh, that poor dog. I was just trying to find out his name. She suddenly stops smirking. You know what? I was kidding what I said the first time about prod dogs. Oh, that? The sudden change of topic catches me off guard. Right, she said something about prod dogs the first time we met. I forgot all about that. I was so focused on escaping. Kidding or not, doesn't make no difference to me. Well, I was kidding when I asked if you were one, because I know you're raised as one. I scoff. What do you know anyway? Just because I was in an arena or two in the plains doesn't make me a prod dog. I suppose not, but maybe you wouldn't have made it so far if not for that. If you worked your way up in that environment, there's something about it you can never shake off, even if you want to. It doesn't make a difference to me, like I said. There's no need to discuss this. Let's just eliminate this dog. Okay, if you wish, you can do the honours. But we're going to talk again. We'll talk about how you killed that dog in real life, by killing him in the arena. I've been intrigued for a long time. Ignore her. Just focus on what's at paw. I searched the dog for her pendant. She doesn't resist at all. When the trapper cornered me, all I could do was run. She doesn't even have that option, so what would be the point in resisting? I find the pendant and crush it with a clean swipe. Mercy kill. The wires, once taut with the dog's weight, now hang loose. I turn to the trapper. Look, I'm not sure why you want to learn about my past arena, and I don't care, but to be frank, I might not be able to answer your questions. I didn't do anything on purpose. It could have been a hardware malfunction with the ARI equipment. The trapper gives me a gleeful smile. Even after all these years, you're still in denial. But next time, we can find out. With that, our job here is done. With me in tow, the trapper wastes no time in gathering supplies and building traps. By the end of the day, the floor's effectively a trapper-certified floor as well. Okay, day 6. The following days, we eliminate several more dogs. It's strange to have things consistently going well again. I can't help but draw parallels between my current partnership to the one between me and IU. Except now, I'm the disposable one. Please endure and survive, Sid. If only I can endure and survive one more day. I repeat that phrase to myself. I feel like a shell of my former self. There is one ruler of reality, and I'm not it after all. That's not to say I've completely given up hope. I just had to update my expectations realistically. In the meantime, I'll scout things out for the trapper. It's imperative that I tell her all my findings with complete honesty, because any missing detail could jeopardise our position. Or she would think so anyway. But there are places I've found that I hope she has no idea about. I make a mental note of these deserted rooms and move on. They could be control rooms, storage rooms and the like. I hope I find something that can help me turn the tables. Not that my existence is really that miserable. I'll still come out with a decent ranking, and considering my current status, that's enough to end up in the top 10% or so. That'll give me enough standing to live with reasonable freedom. I won't be completely free, like my goal was to become, but to answer to 10% of the dogs on the island isn't the worst that could happen, right? So, I accept that it's fine to go along with the trapper. Accepting the fact is a blow to my ego. It feels like everything I've expected of myself for my whole life has been proved to be a lie. My values, my fight for freedom. I wanted to play the ARI game to win, because winning it would bring me power. But now I realise my reality is bounded by the rules of the game. I cannot change my reality any further. Anyway. Stop spacing out and get back to gathering supplies, Sid. Some time later. I'm resting in my original home base, the shopping floors. Though to describe it as resting might be too optimistic. I'm shivering, my heart pounding so loudly in my ears it's the only thing I can hear. Get a grip? But I can't stop shaking. It's getting harder and harder to calm down these days. Maybe that's why the trapper decided to teach me a lesson. This is not going to be good. We eliminated the dog we were pursuing up on the outdoor observatory. Unlike the regular observatory with floor-to-wall glass ceilings, this was the real deal. There's nothing separating Shiba from sky or ground. Up there, the trapper caught me. It was over the ledge that she had dangled me. I arched my neck to see only the top of her face peering at me. The wind in my fur, the view from up higher, the city which I had fought tooth and claw to come to. The city where I thought my dreams would come true. Dreams I thought I could make come true as long as I worked hard enough, as long as I outsmarted enough dogs. As long as I betrayed and used enough dogs. She could see me unravelling. She wanted to give me an ultimatum. She graciously told me that it wasn't my performance that had been suffering, as I hadn't made any mistakes that cost us any eliminations. Sure, there had been a dog or two that got away, but they wouldn't have been caught in the first place, mistakes or not. But she could see that my mental state was at risk. The upside-down view of the city, combined with the blood rushing to my head, had made me almost lose it. But I promised her I'd get my emotions in order and not pose a potential risk. With that, she let me go and told me to take the day off. And so, here I am. Here I am, lying immobile and shaking uncontrollably. She needs me. She didn't eliminate me right there and then. She must see a future use for me. But I can't see a way out of my future self. The view of the city upside down, my limbs tied up, and at the mercy of the trapper, it all returns to me. Dog damn it, Sid. I yell and yell. I wonder if the trapper can hear. I mutter more quietly this time. Oh, who cares if she thinks that she hears me losing it? I'm just coping. The view of the upside down city. Coping. Screw coping. I'll play the game like I always did. I'm just not doing very well right now. But there is one way to escape the Allocated Reality Institute's game. The only way to escape the game is to play the game. This game that everyone has to play, the arenas. And since I can't play the arenas to win the arenas, I'll play the arenas to escape the arenas. Wow, Sid's taking it rough. Keep going. There was something I saw while off the ledge. Something I saw that terrified me. If I had been dropped by the trapper, surely my pendant would have been crushed on impact. I wouldn't die, but I would suffer the immense pain in the moment before waking up in the real world as an eliminated dog. So, I'm back here on the ledge. What I saw that time, it was beautiful. It was beautiful and also terrifying. I want to see it again. And so I leap. The familiar sensation of the consciousness fading, yet still being aware and sentient. Like emerging from sleep, waking into a world that is real and yet completely parallel to real life, the emulated reality in which arenas are set. Okay, that is a wild place to leave off at, but that is where we're going to leave it at. We just jumped off the building and we're going to return to the present day. Let's see what happens. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.